I'm going to talk you through the classic web, which is the web most of you will be familiar with. And I'm going to talk you from that into where we are today, and then I'm going to predict the future. And I'm going to show you something that's pretty convincing. So let's move into the classic web. The classic web, as you know, is page centric. Pages gain authority. And because of Google and their algorithm and their unique model, pages actually were given a page rank. They were given a score, a point score, which determined the quality of a page. Now, the Google page rank system works through inbound links, link juice. A link from one page to another is a vote. A page's popularity or page rank will determine the influence of its vote. So, the number of votes into a page will determine the page's popularity. And then the vote off that page to other pages will be determined by the page rank of the page that's voting. PageRank is displayed on the Google toolbar as a number between 1 and 10, but really PageRank is a number between 000 or 0.0001 to infinity, and link juice passed from one page to another is calculated in Google's algorithm as being the page rank of the page multiplied by 0.85 divided by the total number of followed links off a page. We've done this in the bookmarkings in the article marketing course. Search engine rankings would, to date, in the last 5 years, has been determined through this page rank system. But ultimately, the way the search engines work is users will search for content in keywords that represent problems, and what the search engines throw them are solutions to problems. But the system itself is a pull system. That's where the consumers are pulling information to them. Now, content or news doesn't exist until you find it. The only way in the classic web we find pages of information is through search, through embedded links on pages that click us through onto another page, through emails or newsletters, which is why social bookmarking was a revelation. It came along, and before you know it, users could find content through collaboration. Web 2 was born through social bookmark, and then came along RSS. Now, you've all heard the buzzword RSS, and I'm sure a lot of people doing this course have never used it or know that they've used it. It changed the way we use the web, the classic web, from pulling information to pushing information. Every blog has an RSS feed in it. Most of the big sites have them. All of the big aggregators, Spider RSS feeds, just like the search engine Spider web pages. So RSS actually changed the way humans process information. With RSS, you can find good content and subscribe to it, and that website owner or blog owner would be able to push that content to you into your feed readers. So all of a sudden, we found ourselves in a situation where content was being pushed to us every day that was of interest. So before RSS, if we didn't find the information across the net, it didn't exist. But all of a sudden with RSS, it just arrived every day. So I in particular, I look at myself and my own behaviour and other early adopters on the net, and what started to happen was we started to use our feed readers to read content, and we didn't go to the search engines, and we weren't out on the net as much as what we used to. It was all coming to us now. So you'd be out, use the search to find particular information and content, and the bookmarking sites were dominant. That's when the bookmarking sites were flying. You'd go to find the hottest stuff on the net. It was the future of news, because it was the only place you could go where you could put 1 million people into a patch and say, right, what's the best stuff in here? So that's where you'd go to get your good content, other than Google serving it up and having their algorithm or their machine serve up the best content. The bookmarking sites were a place where humans would collectively tell you what was popular. Still are. But what started to happen with the news feeds or the RSS feed, the partial feeds, which are just the headings that you have to click through to the host site in order to get the full content, meant that we're living in our browser or in our feed reader, a Google feed reader, whatever feed reader you're using, and we're getting all of these partial feeds, and we're clicking open, and you get the first paragraph and a heading, and then you got to click off to another page to read the full story. And as soon as you leave the safety of your feed reader and you land on somebody else's site or blog, you know that the game there is for them to keep you on the site. Their aim is to keep you on their site or link you off to their partner sites, which was distracting and annoying. So the reading software started to evolve with the times, and they obviously everything works on feedback. This is where your customer feedback and your interfacing and your communication with customers is imperative because the web has grown like this. This is how the web knows what to build. And so they started giving full feeds. I don't know if you guys remember, but all of a sudden you could read the full post in your Google Reader. You didn't have to go anywhere. You didn't have to click off. The only downside with that was that you couldn't comment. You couldn't participate in the community with the blogger. You couldn't go in and actually write a comment to the writer and or to the author and have him give you their thoughts back on your thoughts, which is what blogging and social media was all about. So, instance we're evolving and progressing on Web 2, and the other, we're sort of becoming more efficient, but being more efficient in our browsers meant that we were being less efficient in our collaboration communication. Again, bookmarking was always a source of good content. It was always where you'd go and find, it was the only place you'd go and find a collective thought. But what started to happen throughout all of this was that good content, whereas in the classic web was associated with a domain and with a page, over a 2 or 3 year period we shifted to good content being associated with people. People who are authorities in certain niche topics were synonymous with good content. So to accommodate this shortcoming, what's happened over the last couple of years, or last 12 months really, the social networking sites that have been evolving themselves quietly in the background, and they're very closely aligned with the social bookmarking sites and everything that's going on there. But Twitter has come from nowhere and it's emerged as one of the top social networking sites now. And all Twitter is an alert system. It's a social network of choice for content alerts. So Twitter allows us to follow. They say that the object behind Twitter is to tell people what you're doing now, but it's not really. It's Twitter's a way in which you can alert people in your network who are following you of good content that you found across the net. Where do you find it? Well, probably in your bookmarking sites and still in search and through your social networks. But you'll bring it back and share it with people on Twitter. You'll retweet it.